All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about actions. Now, actions in Procreate aren't really the same thing as actions in Photoshop. If you're familiar with Photoshop, actions are, a set of repeatable steps that you can record, and that's an action. It doesn't work that way in Procreate. They have a whole other name for, or a whole other thing for what they call actions. So, actions are everything that is in the little gearbox symbol up there at the top left. So we'll just start on the left and go all the way across. So under the image section, there's a couple of things here that are pretty useful. So the first is insert a file. So this is what I would use if I wanted to add, for example, like a texture to my piece here. So I'm going to we'll just make a new layer. Where do we want to put it? We'll put it near the top. There we go. And I'm going to go to Actions. I'm going to go to Insert a File. Now, for me, this is a bunch of textures I have either purchased or obtained through off the internet. And I'm just going to grab one of these. And it's going to import that file into the image. So I can, resize this, make it as big as I want. I'm just going to make it cover the whole image. And then, I could either manipulate that texture, or I can change it, or I can play around with it. But I like to use overlay mode for texture. So I'm going to go to contrast. So I'm on my layer with the texture. I'm going to go to the mode for that. I'm going to click the N, go to contrast, and click overlay. Now, this is a very strong effect for this. I probably wouldn't want to use it this way. But you can adjust the opacity. You can bring it up, bring it down. So let's say I wanted to be more subtle. I could do it like that. I could mess around with different layer modes, lighten. There's all sorts of different interesting layer modes in here you can play around with. But, so yeah, I don't know. I like overlay or either hard light usually if I'm going to be using a texture. And you can always go in with the lasso or your freehand version or the automatic version and select different parts of the image and remove them from where that texture is. So if I just want it in the background, I could go in and say select everything on the main flat and then go up to my layer and then just delete that. So it leaves and I did the 3-finger swipe back and forth to clear it. So now it's not affecting him, but it is affecting the background. Okay. And with textures, be sure that the texture you're using, that you can use them. There's a lot of textures online where you have to pay for them. So what I like to do is just do a Google search, and there's a tools section. And when you do a Google image search, and you can actually look for, the license that says, can be used with modifications or whatever. So I like to do that when I'm searching for textures. And that way you know that what you're looking for is okay to use. All right, so what else do we have in here? Insert a photo does the same thing. It just goes to your photos on the iPad, so I'm not going to do that. I could take a photo, which I'm not interested really in doing, but it's the same principle. You can take a picture and it shows up there. You get your regular cut and copy and all of that stuff. One thing that I do use every now and then is 3 fingers down. On that gesture, if you put 3 fingers on it and swipe, it'll bring up this cut, copy, paste. Usually if I'm going to cut, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that instead of going to the menu. So like, for example, if I go to my, I'm going to turn off that texture. So let's say I make a selection right here. Then I can 3-finger swipe down, cut, and then, paste or whatever. And now I've got another copy of that I can move around or whatever. So, I don't use a ton of that usually when I'm working, but if you want to resize something or duplicate something, you can do that with that 3-finger swipe down. Or you can come here to the menu if you don't remember the gesture for it. Copy canvas I touched on earlier. Whatever's on the screen, whatever you can see, whatever's layers are visible, if you hit copy canvas, it will copy everything there, which you can then paste into a layer if you wanted to. So I can 3-finger swipe down and paste, and there it is. So just a different way to have a copy of that. This is useful if you want to like goof around with some type of filter or adjustment or something, but you don't want to mess with your actual file. That's a neat way to play around with that. All right, that's it for image. Under canvas, there's not a ton of stuff I use here. Perspective guide, I don't really use that much, but if you're familiar with perspective tools, it lets you select a vanishing point and all of that. So if I go to edit perspective guide and just pick a line, then you can see I've got a horizon line now with some guides that I can use for drawing in perspective, but we can do a whole course on perspective eventually. We also have flip canvas. I actually like using flip canvas horizontally because it's a quick way to flip everything, and especially when you're drawing, you can see things that you wouldn't see. So if you ever look at a lot of time-lapse videos or digital painters online, you'll see them constantly like flipping this back and forth. And it's a way to just get a mirror view, and a lot of times you'll get a different perspective, like, oh, his nose looks funny from this side, you know? So you can kind of switch that around. I use that quite a bit. Canvas vertically, does it vertically? I don't think that helps quite as much, but it is there. And that's where the canvas information is. And we can see that the date it was created a month ago today, actually. The video file size, the maximum number of layers. This is not a huge file. It's 7 by 7 at 300 dpi, so we could have a jillion layers if we want. Video quality, all that's set in the Procreate settings. The video length, so the time-lapse video we're going to look at in a second. Right now, it's 1 minute and 19 seconds long. We've made 2,200 strokes. There's image file size, dimensions, DPI, color space, and the track time. So I have spent 5.5 hours on these lessons with you guys. So it'll get chopped down much less than that. All right. Just so I'm cutting out all the pauses and things you guys don't even know about. What else is in here? Let's see. Share. Share we talked about early on. This is the same share, okay? So if you want to export this into Photoshop or Clip Studio or something, you could use PSD, would probably be best. JPEGs, PNG files, TIFF files, these are just unlayered files that are good for sharing online. If I just want to stick it up on my website, I'm going to use JPEG, you know. So in the Procreate file, just a reminder, copies the time-lapse video into the file, which I think is awesome. We're going to look at that in just a second. It's actually right here. So time-lapse replay. This is cool for a lot of reasons, but if I go to time-lapse replay, it's going to start at the very beginning of that file, okay? It's going to start drawing. And this was me. Looks like I skipped some parts, but there we go. So this is me drawing this the first time, okay? So I'm putting in all the little details and erasing parts, and you can see all the places I screwed up and all these different things. But it's cool because if you put your finger on the screen, you can actually either fast forward or you can back up, and you can get in there and really see. And you can even zoom. Like, this is not a video. This is actually playing back all of these strokes. So while it's playing, you know, if you want to, you know, let's see, if I back up here and I want to see the point where, you know, I just inked his face, then I can just zoom up and let it play. And if I go, hey, I missed something, I can just put my finger on there and back it up and do it again. So I love these videos. I've actually started doing some videos on YouTube using this file and sharing it on YouTube and using that as a way to play around. You can see me play around with different colors and the brushes that I was going to use, and all the things we've done in this course play out in one file. So I'm actually going to share this file with you guys, so you'll be able to see this happen and see where we end up. So anyway, that'll be cool. And time-lapse recording, you can choose to turn that off or on. I like to leave that on. It's totally an option. Live broadcast, I haven't tried yet, but you can sign in with like YouTube and broadcast live online while you're painting, which is kind of cool. And then export time-lapse video does just that. It saves it as like an MP4 file. You can control There's more options under settings on the in the Procreate settings for the iPad, not in the app, but in the iPad settings, where you can play around with a few things. Preferences. If you want a light interface, you can. I would not like that personally, but it's up to you. If you're left-handed, you can switch it from right hand to left hand, all that. Brush cursor, I haven't actually played around with this. I don't know what that does. I actually tried playing around this before I started the video and I couldn't tell any difference. So AirPlay Canvas, if you got the right Mac stuff, I guess you can share this over AirPlay. I never played with that. I'm not going to get into all these delays. It's all personal preference. I haven't messed with any of this, except maybe the mask visibility. So when you do a selection, you see those lines, you can show how much of that is visible. Because sometimes they can be kind of a pain to see through. And then there's the help, which is just what's new and sends you to links to all these different places. So advanced settings will open up this the settings on the iPad, which you can then go in and play around with. But yeah, I didn't really do much with that. Left it the way it is. So yeah, that is actions in Procreate. So let's wrap this up.